Dear friends, welcome to another very exciting edition of Data Science Tutorials. Myself, Dr. Suptik Mukherjee. Today's topic is manipulating and analyzing large data in pandas. But before we move on to the topic, I have a small request. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel. We put a lot of hard work and effort in creating these videos. If you subscribe, it will motivate us significantly. Also, for the dataset as well as the Jupyter notebook that you are using today, this has been uploaded in GitHub and the link for which has been provided in the description. Please download the dataset, go to the Jupyter notebook homepage and upload it so that you have both the Jupyter notebook and the dataset in the same place, and it will be easy for you to go through this to the notebook contents and the code. Now coming on to the video with the video topic. First of all, what we do is we have a data set which has 154,000 plus rows, and it is about the Olympic Games, the Winter and the Summer Olympic Games from 1896 to 2022. It has the name of the athletes, the country they belong to, the medals they won, their information, height, weight, date of birth, and so on. Now, the first thing that you are trying to do is import the data set. So, in order to import the data set, we use the pandas. We use the pandas, import pandas as PDF, the pandas library we import. And then we use the read underscore CSV method to read the data set and store it as a data frame DF. And then we use the head method to display the data set or data frame. Now, when you display the data frame, what head does is it gives the top 5 rows. So if you see the top 5 rows, you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows provided. You have all the columns, and there are 10 columns here, right? Now we want to know that how many rows are there in the data set. So say suppose you have a new data set, you want to know the number of rows. So let's find out how you can display the number of rows. Now you can use a function called format, which has 2 arguments, DataFrame.shape with an index 0, which is the rows, and DataFrame.shape index 1, which is the columns. You can pass on um, the arguments in the function format to the number of rows and number of columns. And what format will do is insert these values into the string templates. The other thing you can do is just within this string templates, you can just put df.shape and df.say shape 0 index and 1 index, and both of these two ideas, both of these two ways of representing will give you the same result. So you have 155,031 rows. Now, this was the data frame you had, which has name, right, as one of the columns. So you want to create a data frame which has only the name column. So let's say you call it names, that data frame, and you pass on the name column for df, and then you store it in the new data frame names. You print the new data frame, and then what do you get? You get the top 5 and the bottom 5 for this names data frame. Now if you want only the top 5 names, then you can use dot head. And if you want to, and you see all of them, the index is 0, it starts from, then goes to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you want to, okay, so now If you want, instead of just the name, you want the height and the weight, you also have the height and the weight here, right? If you go to the data frame, you see you have height and weight. So you also have the height and the weight, and you want to display it. So new data frames dimensions, pass on name, height, and weight. And so a new data frame is created with these columns. And then you read the top 5 rows, and you see the name, height, and weight, and with index 0 to 4. Okay, now I go to the second data set, and all of it is there in the Jupyter notebook uploaded, in the home page uploaded. So I go to this one, Olympic athlete event results. It's all CSV files. Okay, so here I use the again the read underscore CSV method, and then store it in a data frame df1, and then I read out, then I display it as head method, using the head method. So it shows top 5 rows and it shows all the columns. And then I want to do the same thing. I want to print the number of rows and columns in the second data set. I use the format function, and df.shape index 0 as the rows, df.shape index 1 as the column. And it gives me the number of rows, number of columns when I print it. Okay, now I want to print the last 5 rows. Like head, you can use tell, and this will give the last 5 rows. Tell method. If you want to print the last 10 rows, then pass on 10 as an argument to that tell method, and you get it. Last 10 rows. Now, I need a data frame which will provide the gold winners, the edition, the country, and the country underscore name of the country. So you see, you have what do you have here? You have the country underscore NOC. You will have people who have won medals, and the gold will be written next to it. And you want the gold medal winners as a separate data frame. How do you do that? You have the data frame df1. Within the df1, you have this column, and if that column is equal to gold, then you save it as gold winners underscore df, gold underscore winners underscore df data frame. And then you create a list for all the columns that you want to see in that data frame, and then you pass on that list to the new data frame that you have created, gold winners data frame. Now what will happen is the indexes will not start from 0 1 and will go on sequentially. It will have in between the indexes that it was there previously. So you want all the indices to go on sequentially. So what do? You use this reset underscore index, and use these two arguments um, to basically um, drop all the indices to start with. So drop equal to true means it will drop all the indices, and in place is equal to true means in the same data frame, without changing the data frame, in the same data frame it will have the new indices. So you drop the indices and give a default value which is starting from 0 and goes on sequentially, and in the same data frame you give the new indices. So then the result, when you do the gold winners df dot head, you see you have said very nicely everything printed out, top 5, and medal is written gold. Okay, friends, that's all for this video. We'll have many parts to this same topic. Please stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and happy learning.